Greetings of the day. I welcome you all for fifth session of departmental level elective course named Analysis and Synthesis of Mechanism. So in the fourth session we studied the loop closure equation. It states that the summation of all relative position vectors for the corresponding links forming a closed loop within the mechanism is always equal to 0, and hence the equation is known as loop closure equation. It gives the relationship between position vectors of different links in the given mechanism to form a closed loop. The joints of the links always remained at fixed distance from one another. Therefore, even the loop changes its position, the magnitude of relative position vectors do not change with respect to time. So the concept of various vectors considered for the corresponding links is to be used in the Freudenstein equation for dimensional analysis of 4-bar mechanism, which we are going to study in the current session. So now let us go for finding out the dimensions of 4-bar mechanism, which is considered to be the dimensional synthesis using Freudenstein equation, and we can consider this as analytical approach. So let us consider that a 4-bar mechanism which is kept in a xy plane. Now let us consider this particular point as fixed point A, and another point which is kept at distance d and which is labeled as capital D and considered to be the another pivot or another fixed point. After that, let us consider the input crank, which is shown by blue color line with link length small a, and it is inclined at angle theta. Let us consider the another link, which is coupler, which is shown by chocolatey color with link length small b, and let us consider the angle of inclination of this particular coupler with respect to the reference or fixed link as beta, and the last link, that is output crank, is considered to be this particular line, which is shown in the green color, and the link length is considered to be small c, and it is inclined at angle phi with reference to the fixed link. So this mechanism can be considered as the 4-bar mechanism, for which we are going to find out the various formulae to calculate A, B, C and D, which are the corresponding link lengths of link number 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now if we consider the relative position vectors, that is position of B with respect to A, that is relative position of B with respect to A will be represented by this particular line and will be considered as vector AB. The direction is shown like this. Similarly, position of B with respect to position of C with respect to B is considered as vector BC, and it is the direction is shown in this fashion. Then position of D with respect to C is shown by vector CD, and the direction is also shown here. And lastly, position of A with respect to D is considered to be vector AD. So these all 4 vectors are considered to be absolute relative position vectors for corresponding links. So now after this, what we are going to do is we are going to use the relation between angles and link lengths by considering the links as various vectors, which we have studied just now. So now if we consider the links as vectors and corresponding vector displacement along x and y axis can be considered for each link, and now I will tell you one by one. So if we consider the vector displacement, that is, if we consider vector AB and the displacement of vector AB in x direction and in y direction. In y direction it is shown by this particular dotted line, and in it can be written as a into sine theta, and the vector displacement along x axis is shown by this particular dotted line. And now you can see the directions. Since we have to make a closed loop, direction of this particular vector is shown from A to B, then A to this particular point, and from this particular point to point B, and the component of displacement of this particular vector in x direction can be written as A cos theta. Similarly, if we consider the vector displacement of this particular vector in x and y direction, let us consider the vector in y direction, which is shown by this particular dotted line, and vector in x direction, which is shown by this particular line, that is the vertical, which is shown in vertical direction. So this component can be labeled as b into cos beta, and this particular component can be labeled as b into sin beta. Similarly, we will write vectors or vector displacement for this particular vector in x and y direction. So let us consider this vertical line as the vector displacement in y axis, and the direction is shown here. So if you see the direction of let me tell you the directions of previous vector. The direction is shown from B to C, B to this particular point, and again from this particular point to point C. Now if you consider the direction of vector CD, it is shown from point C to D, and again if you consider this vertical line, the direction is shown from C point to this particular point. And now if you consider so the component can be written as C into sin phi, and then another vector displacement in x direction will be shown by this particular line, and direction is shown here. So this component can be considered as C cos phi. Now the last vector remaining, which is vector AD, the direction of which is shown here by this particular arrow to close the loop of this particular this particular configuration of 4-bar mechanism, and then we can write the vector as D itself because it is not inclined at any angle. So the last vector will be considered as simple D. So now we have vector displacement for each relative position vectors in x and y direction for link A, B, C and D. What we can do is we will consider the equilibrium of mechanism, and the sum of components along x axis and along y axis, we will consider it to be 0, and we will try to solve the equations. So now before taking the summation of components along x axis and y axis, let us note the sign conventions for components along x axis. If you consider component along x axis, first component will be A cos theta, which is directed towards the right side. Hence all the vectors in along the x direction which are directed towards the right side are considered to be positive vectors. So a cos theta will be positive, b cos beta will also be positive, but since this particular vector is shown towards the left hand side, so this will be considered as negative, that is minus c cos phi, and also for d it is directed towards the left side, so d will be also considered as minus d. So this was for components which are drawn along the or considered along the x-axis. On the other hand, components which are considered in y-axis, the sign convention can be stated as, if the direction is shown in the if it is shown in upward direction, it will be considered as positive vector. So a sin theta, b sin beta will be considered as positive vectors, whereas c sin phi will be considered as negative vector because it is shown in the downward direction. So now let us write the summation of all components along the x-axis. It is a cos theta plus b cos beta minus c cos phi minus d is equal to 0. So instead of this, we can rearrange the equation and we can rewrite it as b cos beta is equal to c cos phi plus d minus a cos theta. Similarly, if we consider the summation of components in y-axis, we will write it as a sin theta plus b sin beta minus c sin phi is equal to 0. We can rearrange this equation such that we can get the another form as b sin beta is equal to c sin phi minus a sin theta. Now let us try to solve these two equations. So let us analyze the components along x-axis. So what we will do is we will square on the both the sides. So we get equation transformed in the form of b square into cos square beta is equal to c into c into cos phi plus d minus a into cos theta square. So now when you are squaring the right hand side, you have to consider all these three terms in a bracket such that c cos phi, that is c into cos phi, will be considered as a, d will be considered as b, and a cos theta will be considered as c. So as good as you have to expand the formula for a plus b plus c whole square. So if you revise the formula for a plus b plus c whole square, you can get answer as a square plus b square plus c square plus 2ab plus 2bc plus 2ca. So according to this particular formula, we will try to expand this particular bracket. So we can write this as c square cos square phi plus b square plus 2c into d cos phi plus a square cos square theta minus 2ac cos phi cos theta minus 2ad cos theta. So this equation will be considered as equation number 2. So this is how we have expanded the summation of all the components in the x direction. So now let us analyze the components in the y-axis. Similarly, the summation of y-axis equation, that is this particular equation number 3, will be squared on the both the sides. So we get b square sin square beta is equal to c sin phi minus a sin theta whole square. So here also, while considering while squaring the right hand side, you have to consider the term c into sin phi as a and a into sin theta as b. So you have to expand this bracket as a plus b or a minus b bracket square. So we know the usual formula. With respect to that, we will expand this particular bracket and we can write it as c square into sin square phi plus a square sin square theta minus 2ac sin phi and sin theta. This particular equation will be considered as equation number 4. So now what we have to do is we have to consider equation number 2 and equation number 4 to go to the next step, which I will explain right here. So we have to add the equations 2 and 4, that is we have to add the left hand side and right hand side for this particular equations. So we will take b common and then we can write b square into bracket cos square beta plus sin square beta bracket complete is equal to c square cos square phi plus sin square phi plus d square plus 2ac plus 2c into d cos phi plus a square cos square theta plus sin square theta minus 2ac in bracket cos phi cos theta plus sin phi sin theta minus 2ad into cos theta. So now let us rearrange the equation such that we can get b square alone on the left hand side, shift this particular term on right hand side, we get as c square plus d square plus 2a plus 2c into d cos phi plus a square minus 2ac cos phi cos theta plus sin phi sin theta bracket complete minus 2ad into cos theta. So what we have to do is now we have to keep this term, or we can shift this particular complete term on left hand side, so that the bracketed term of cos phi cos theta plus sin phi sin theta can be isolated on the left hand side. We can shift this 2ac on the other side. So that is why we are shifting this complete term on the left hand side. So we get 2ac, this bracketed term of cos and sin is equal to a square minus b square plus c square plus d square plus 2cd cos phi minus 2ad cos theta. So as I already said, we have to isolate this particular term on left hand side. Let us shift 2ac on the right hand side. We get a square minus b square plus c square plus d square divided by 2ac plus d upon a cos phi, because if you divide this particular term with 2ac, the cc will get cancelled and even 2 will get cancelled, only d divided by a term will remain and along with cos phi. Similarly, if you divide this particular equation with 2ac, 2 and a, like 2a will get cancelled, only d divided by c will remain as it is along with cos theta. So now let us consider the d by a as k1, d by c as k2, and complete whole this term, that is a square minus b square plus c square plus d square divided by 2ac as k3. And now put all these values in this particular equation. What you get as cos phi cos theta plus sin phi sin theta is equal to k1 cos phi minus k2 cos theta plus k3. Now instead of writing this complete term, we can, as we know that this particular term can be written either as cos phi minus theta or cos theta minus phi. So we will put this particular term instead of the whole term of cos phi cos theta plus sin phi sin theta will be replaced with cos theta minus phi is equal to k1 cos phi minus k2 cos theta plus k3. So this particular equation is considered as the Freudenstein equation. So if the 3 positions of theta and 3 positions of phi are given, you will be able to find out the 3 equations with 3 unknowns as k1, k2 and k3, and you can employ the Gauss elimination method to find out unknown values of k1, k2 and k3 from 3 equations. And from that, once you get value of k1, k2 and k3, you can put the values in this particular equation. Now since D is considered as the fixed link, or we can consider as length of fixed link, if you know the value of K and D, you will be easily able to find out value of A, that is length of input crank. After this, since K2 and D is also known, we will be easily able to find out value of C. And once value of D, A, C is known and even K3 is known, you will be able to find out the value of link B, which is remaining. So this is how dimensions of various links of 4-bar mechanism can be determined using Freudenstein equation. Only the condition is you must know the 3 positions of theta and corresponding 3 positions of phi. That is, if you know the 3 positions of, or we can say 3 inclinations of input crank and corresponding 3 inclination of output crank, you will be able to solve the Freudenstein equation by 3 equations and 3 unknowns, and with respect to that we will be able to find out the dimensions of various links. Now let us consider one example, one numerical rather. Design a 4-bar mechanism with input link L2, coupler link L3 and output link L4. The angle theta and phi for 3 successive positions are given in the table. If you consider the 3 positions for theta and phi are given here, first position is shown here, second is shown here and third is shown here. So first position of theta is considered as 40 degrees, second position is considered as 55 degrees and third position is considered as 70 degrees. For phi, that is inclination of output crank, first position will be considered as 50 degrees, second position will be considered as 60 degrees and third position will be considered as 75 degrees. So the assumption is given as if grounded link, that is the fixed link, is considered as L1 with 30 mm. Using Freudenstein equation, find out lengths of other links to satisfy the given positional conditions. Also draw a synthesized mechanism in its first position. So that means after finding out the values of L2, L3 and L4, you have to draw this particular mechanism in the first position. That means you have to use theta as 40 degrees and phi as 50 degrees. That means theta must be, the input crank must be inclined at 40 degrees and output crank must be inclined as 50 degrees. This is how you have to draw a mechanism. So now, as we know, theta given is stated here, given data, theta 1 is considered as 40 degrees, phi 1 is considered as 50 degrees, theta 2 is considered as 55 degrees, phi 2 is considered as 60 degrees, theta 3 is considered as 70 degrees, phi 3 is considered as 75 degrees. So we know all the values of theta and phi for 3 different positions. Along with this, we know the length of fixed link, that is L1, which is 30 mm. So now we know the Freudenstein equation as K1 cos phi minus K2 cos theta plus K3 is equal to cos bracket theta minus phi. So let us put the values of phi, theta in this particular equation for 3 times to get 3 equations. So we will put the value of theta 1 and phi 1 in the first equation as K1 cos 50 minus K2 cos 40, that is cos theta, plus K3 is equal to cos 40 minus 50. So this is first equation. Phi is considered as phi 1 and theta is considered as theta 1. Now we have to consider theta 2 and phi 2 to get equation number 2. So K1 cos 60, which is phi 2, minus K2 cos 55, which is theta 2, plus K3 is equal to cos 55 minus 60. And in the third equation, we can write it as K1 cos 75, which is phi 3, minus K2 cos 70, which is theta 3, plus K3 is equal to cos 70 minus 75. So now if you see this particular equations, we have three equations with three unknowns as k1, k2 and k3. So these three equations are considered to be simultaneous equations and can be solved using your calculator, or we are going to study Gauss elimination method in the course of numerical methods and computer programming in the unit number 2. There you will be able to learn how to solve multiple equations with multiple unknowns using various methods which are proposed by mathematician Gauss and the family. So let us find out values of k1, k2, k3 using a calculator. We get value of k1 as 0.197, k2 as 0.205 and k3 as 1. So now since we have calculated the values of k1, k2 and k3, we will move further to find out the link lengths with respect to the k1, k2 and k3. So as we know, the formula is k1 is equal to L1 divided by L2. So to find out value of L2, we can rearrange this formula as L2 is equal to L1 divided by k1. So since value of k1 and L1, that is the fixed link, is known, we'll be able to find out value of L2. So L2 is equal to 30, which is value of fixed link, that is L1, divided by value of k1 as 0.197. So value of L2, that is link length for or we can say length of input crank, that is L2, as 152.284 mm. Similarly, if we consider formula for k2 with respect to the link length L4 and L1, we can rearrange this formula to find out link length L4, which is equal to 30, which is link length of the fixed link, divided by k2, which is 30 divided by 0.205. The answer comes out to be 146.341 mm. So now since we know the value of L1, L2 and L4, that is fixed link, input crank and output crank, we will be able to find out the value of L3 using the equation K3. So K3 is equal to L1 square plus L2 square plus L4 square minus L3 square divided by 2 into L2 into L4. So after putting the value of K3 as 1.015 and value of L as 30 square, value of L2 as 152.284 square plus value of L4 as 146.341 square minus L3 square. So actually this must be L3 only. So I'll just copy and paste it here. By mistake it remained as it is. So we wanted to find out the formula for link L3. We will go to the equation. As we can see here that value of L3 is to be found out. So 2 into 152.284 into 146.341. So by solving this particular equation, we get length of link 3, that is L3, is equal to 16.332 mm. So at the end of this particular numerical, we found the length of coupler as L3, length of input crank as L2, length of output crank as L4. Now we will be able to draw this mechanism in first configuration as it is specified. So draw a mechanism such that L2 is inclined at 40 degrees. I guess first position of input crank was given as, let us see it here, just a minute. Yes, so the input crank must be inclined at 40 degrees and output crank must be inclined at 50 degrees. According to, you can draw the mechanism in the first position. So this numerical carries 5 marks and it can be asked for the end-sem examination. So you may be you please be prepared with this kind of example, which is very easy, but which is very important to know the how to calculate dimensions of 4-bar mechanism using analytical approach. So in the next session we'll try to solve some different kinds of example using the same approach, which will be useful to synthesize the real-time applications of different mechanisms which are used. Thank you so much.